Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Let me make sure I'm good. I'm live. I'm hot on everything. Okay. Live on Facebook. Sure we're good on YouTube. Okay, we're hot on YouTube. Okay. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, everybody. What up, Slime? What's going on, brother? Okay, I'm gonna try to be brief with this one because myself, and I'm pretty sure it's pretty late. I was trying to go on a little bit early, but I was running late. Jamal Ali, salam alaikum, big bro. Am I good? Is my audio good? Everybody let me know if my audio is good. Inshallah ta'ala. Just give me a thumbs up. Give me a salam, anything. Y'all just let me know. Oh, I meant to send this to this brother. He was asking me some questions today. I can share it. Y'all just hold tight for me one quick second. Where's the brother at? Audio good, Mumtaz. Okay, Mumtaz, he said it's good. Dabt. Tayyib. I can't find this brother. Where is it? It's just talking. Let me see. Give me 1 second, y'all. I'm gonna dive straight in. Can't find it. The brother wanted me to tag him. I don't know. Hang in there with me, y'all. There it is. All right, got it. All right, back to business. Y'all make sure like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. Inshallah ta'ala, support African American contribution to the conversation of Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah. It don't cost you nothing. Don't be a hater. Share this on all your pages. Muhsin 76, what's going on, big bro? Make sure y'all stay tuned in, and support helps a lot. If we support, we get a lot of views or whatever that motivates us. It lets us know there's some people watching the Hawk and want to know the Hawk. And it's our duty also to support the Hawk and spread the Hawk, especially in these times when we have like poison ideologies out here like salafiyyah. Let me make my disclaimer before I get into the video tonight. None of this is personal against, yeah, a little bit it is personal. So, but overall, none of this is personal with the people who subscribe to the Salafi Minhaj themselves. None of that is personal. I do have some personal, beefs with certain individuals. One of them we're going to talk about today, and we're going to make him famous. He wanted to be famous so bad. So we're going to make him famous today. And he's going to be our example of what not to be. And I hope he takes hidayah out of this, and he doesn't have kibr, he doesn't have arrogance and try to behave with me arrogantly. Hopefully he'll see this presentation and look at it and be like, you know what? The young brother got a point. That's all I'm trying to do. I love everybody who says La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, but at the end of the day, the rubber ain't hitting the road. We're not getting the work done. We're not getting the work done in the communities and in this country like we need to get it done. Because let me just put it like this: the Sunnah and the Quran, is the only way we can describe it. It's magical. when you practice it in the way that it was prescribed to us by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's in the Quran when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that the Quran is a shifa'atu fi sudur. This is medicine for your heart. This is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said. So if you are taking the wrong prescription, which salafiyyah is the wrong prescription, you're not going to get the desired effects that were prescribed. Just like with medicine, you can try to prescribe yourself with certain medicines and take whatever you think you're supposed to have and whatever you Googling, and you won't get cured because you're not a doctor. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is definitely not a doctor. But y'all get the point. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala subscribed Islam to us, and it was revealed in a particular, very, very particular manner. And it is tailor-made, fitted for our souls, our hearts, our mind, and our bodies. And if what Salafiyyah has done has taken the medicine, the Quran and the Sunnah, and they've mixed it up to the point where we don't have the correct prescription for the things that are wrong with us individually, the things that are wrong in our households, and the things that are wrong at broad in the community. So we cannot get ahead as people, especially as African Americans. As African Americans, we need Islam in order for us to further our cause for true freedom and for us to be spiritually upright. We need that. So we don't have time to do this funny business when everybody wants to look like they know something and they want to look like they're knowledgeable, which we're going to see as an example with the individual today. He's going to be an example of what we should try to avoid in regards to this conversation. So first and foremost, we need to bring out the haq. Let me bring the haq. So today we're harping on this whole thing of tafweed. Oh, let me make my other disclaimer. If you're not following one of the four schools, that's 8 schools, one of the 4 schools of fiqh or the 3 schools of aqidah, then you do not belong to Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah, and if this is the straight path, you're doing like this. All of the Islamic knowledge that we have, every book, every hadith, all of the Qur'ans, everything that you would read and pertains to Islamic knowledge only came through the transmission of the 4 schools and those 3 schools of Aqidah. They're really the same. It's really like not 7, but fiqh is fiqh and Aqidah is Aqidah. And tasawwuf is tasawwuf, purifying your soul and purifying your heart. Those are 3 different categories of practice in Islam. So if you're not following one of those 4 schools, you're not on the haq in regards to your practice. And if you're not following one of the 3 schools of Aqidah, that is the Maturidiyya, the Maturidis, the Ash'aris, and the Hanbalis. If you're not following one of those 3 schools, your Aqidah is corrupted. Period. That's just what it is. So that's what these videos are about, to get everybody into the fold of Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah and to clear up the murky waters that Salafiyyah, the Salafi Minhaj has done to Islamic knowledge. They've mixed it all up to make people believe that they are the ones who are following Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah, and I'm here to prove that they are not. So, and one of the 4 schools, you got to follow one. You can't follow all of them. When the Salafis say we follow all 4 schools until one of them makes a mistake, or we follow all 4 schools, we take the best opinion from all 4 schools. Listen, the best of scholars don't follow all 4 schools. It shows how ignorant the people who say that is, because if you look at one school, it's hard to reach the top level of one of the schools of fiqh. One of the schools of fiqh. It's hard. I'm in it and I'm doing it. So I'm telling y'all, this is not easy. So for people to think that layman Muslims could cherry pick from this school, from that school, from that school, man, you would be looking for a conclusion on one issue for a whole entire year. And that's if you're doing it eight hours a day, 7 days a week, 8 days a week. Y'all have no idea, because the Salafi Minhaj doesn't follow the 4 schools, those 7 schools. Those people have absolutely no idea how big, how voluminous the conversation is. I ain't even got my books with me. Maybe I can grab and show y'all how just one book, which is abridged, looks like. Where's my wife? Hey, young man, do me a favor. Go to the library. It's a book called The School of Medina. It's a big blue book on the bookshelf. Grab that for me, if you don't mind. I appreciate it. I'm gonna say, inshallah ta'ala, Yansa gonna grab the book, and I'm just gonna let y'all see. And this is an abridged book, and that book cherry picked popular opinions just within the school. It didn't even cover what's the best of this just that one school. It gives you 5 or 6, 7 different. This book right here, Islam in the School of Medina. Look at this book, man. This is just the Maliki fiqh right here, and this book got. Let me see if I could find one of the footnotes and it'll show y'all. This is just one book, and it's hard to master this book. Let me see, they show you this. They have references down at the bottom. Okay, so here's one. This is just a small example. How do Nabiyyi Jannatu Maniran? Decree of the Sirat. So this is talking about what we believe in regards to the Sirat, the bridge that we got to walk across on the day of judgment. The founder of the Prophet Sallallahu Ali ibn Abbas, no, Ali ibn Abdul Sadiq, that's one reference. Ash-Sha'rani, that's a famous name, that's another reference. Ibn Hajar, that's another reference. Al-Bannani, not Al-Albani, Al-Bannani, that's another reference. Al-Haytami, that's another reference. Y'all get the point. And that's like 5 or 6 opinions that are valid just in regards to talking about the Sirat on the day of Qiyamah. And this big, thick book right here. This was given to my sheikh. When I got through a few books that went over, he dropped this on me. It was like, learn this book, and when you get done, get back with me. We'll go through the book. He gave me this book like 5 years ago. And I use it as a reference. I ain't like going through it. So they have no idea how voluminous the works of the Madahib are. And the 99% of the people who say, oh, we follow all 4 schools and we cherry pick the best opinions, they haven't even seen this book and books like this, and read through books like this and been able to comprehend and go through this with a sheikh and say, hey, do I have the right understanding in this? And then that sheikh says, yes, you have the right understanding in this. 99% of the people who say that haven't done that, at least. And so to think that they would be able to do that with all the 4 schools, and this is just this sheikh, this is just his take on the best opinions in the Maliki school. So they got many other versions of the same type of book. So that disclaimer out the way. Next issue. I'm really pounding because in my dialogue, well, in the disrespect that I incur from a lot of the Salafi people, because they just, they be gang banging. If I say the stuff that I just said, so many of the scholars are old. They'd be like, oh, you know what? I don't think the brother Abdul Kabir is right. Or here's the evidence, and here's the Quran, here's the Sunnah. These dudes come on here talking about, oh, you ignoramus. He's warned against. They screenshotting pictures of me and my video, and they like, oh, don't follow this brother. This brother is a muqtadir, and they just doing all types of slander. And none of these people can hold even a conversation with me, let alone people who are more knowledgeable than me. All they're doing is, spreading rumors and backbiting. And like I tell y'all every single time, I will take those good deeds. All that backbite, salafiyyah is so important to you, and you want to gang bang so hard that your set is salafiyyah. Y'all throwing the S up, y'all throwing the salafiyyah up every time y'all see Abdul Kabir Muhammad. I'll take those good deeds. So keep it coming. So I'm emphasizing this situation on how we interpret the mutashabihat ayats. um, because in my dialogue with these dudes, it's clear to me now. It has been made clear, and we're going to prove it today with one of the sheikhs of the Salafi Minhaj. His name is Abu Naima al-Amriki. He's a big sheikh in the Salafi Minhaj. He comes right at my neck. He comes right at my neck. So we're going to prove that, even the best of them and the most knowledgeable of them don't have true understanding of what Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah is in that regard. And this is important because if you misinterpret the mutashabihat ayat, you can fall into kufr. You can fall out of Islam. And Salafi, the Salafi Minhaj Aqidah has these a lot of these kufri these kufr beliefs in their Aqidah, and nobody is saying nothing. So I'm not going to say the Salafi people. I'm going to say the people who subscribe to the school. So of the Salafiyyah, when they say Allah has a hand, but not like our hands, they play games with the words, and we're going to expose all of that. The problem is with the meaning. So when you see these ayats, these mutashabihat ayats, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is referencing his face, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is referencing his hand, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is referencing his shin, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is referencing modality in some kind of way, like you say istiwa ala al-arsh. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, did istiwa on the arsh. I don't even like translating that ayah. Because we got so many people who have the wrong idea about this. But disclaimer, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not have legs, and he does not have buttocks, and he doesn't have hamstrings and hips, and places all of that on the arsh. This is kufr. Anybody who believes that has disbelieved. And I'm going to prove that via some this next part of this presentation. So everything that I'm saying, I'm going to prove to you. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. What's going on, the Ustadah? The Ustad in here. What's going on, Salim? My bad, I didn't call you back, man. I ain't been talking to nobody. Mujib never calling me. Nadir been blowing me up. Salim, my bad, man. Y'all know I just came out the whole road, so I've been trying to kick it with the family, spend time with the wife and everything. So, why Iyakum, brother Muhsin? So the important matter is that we be educated about this, and this motivated me. I'm gonna teach a book that I was taught. I sat and did with my sheikh. We're gonna, once I get it all structuralized, we're gonna start that book and we're gonna teach it. I thought this stuff when I came home from prison, I thought this stuff was like common knowledge, because like when I was just in curriculum studies, like my sheikh gave me this book, like, okay, learn this, and we learned it, and I did a long dissertation on it, like a 10-page dissertation on it by hand. And sent it to him. He said, okay, you understand this well. I was very impressed with your dissertation, so on and so forth. We're going to go through that book and a couple of other similar books so that we can have the correct understanding of how we deal with these ayah, these mutashabihat ayah. Remember, the mutashabihat are the obscure ayahs. As we know, the golden rule, everybody remember this, the golden rule that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, Laysa kamithlihi shay. Nothing is like Allah. Nothing is like Allah. Allah also said in the Surah to Ikhlas, we all know this, Kullahu Allahu Ahad. Allah is one. He's not in parts. Allah is one. He's unique. He's not in parts. So if people say he actually has an arm, he actually has a leg, he actually has a neck, he has a head, this is breaking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in parts. And Allah ta'ala said, Kullahu Allahu Ahad. He's one. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not have any of these body parts, and that Salafiyyah claims. Most of the people who are Salafi, they do not know that this poisonous, tainted Aqidah exists. They sneak it in. They kind of sneak it in. Like when they say, yeah, Allah, they'll say, oh, no, nobody said Allah had body parts. Who says that? But when you say Allah has a hand, but not like our hand, when Allah Ta'ala said, Yadullah fawqa aydihim, Allah's hand is over the people, is over them. And you're giving that a literal interpretation, you are teaching the people kufr. And this go for all the Salafi imams. I've been telling y'all to tag Hassan Somali and Anwar Wright and all them big hats and tell them, get with me. Come embarrass me. Come on the platform and tell me, where did they get this from? Them dudes are scholars. I ain't a scholar. I'm a student of knowledge. But it's my right to ask them for the dalil, because as far as I've been able to see, and I got my shuyukh are bigger than those guys. And my shuyukh have not confirmed that these beliefs were found with Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah. It has not been confirmed. It's been confirmed that these Sunnis have the belief system that the Salafi Minhaj has been found in the sects, the deviant sects that were warned against during the time of Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah. And I got some notes put together for that too, where we're going to take the Salafi Aqidah and then we're going to take the established statements from scholars who said these people are deviants, these people are mushabbiha, they're mujassima, they're karamiyya, the Jahmiyyah, if they believe X, Y, and Z. And then we're going to take and put it on the screen what the Salafi Minhaj believes, X, Y, and Z. And we're going to compare them. And you're going to see that it's the same. So when you take the Salafi Minhaj's belief system and put it up against this here, what I'm getting ready to show y'all, not that, that. We're gonna get back to it. This is the post. This is the post and the brother. Well, where did it go? We're gonna get to it. This is the post. I was talking about the guy. I'm gonna show you what he's saying because a lot of them, when you bust their head, they recant their statements. This is my guy. Let me hit him back. Okay, so they recant their statements and don't say what they should have said. So we're gonna see here in these notes that what the early Salaf they believe, what we believe as far as these mutashabihats ayats. We did not say Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah. This does not say that these attributes are literal. And I need to stress to y'all, remember this part, screen record it, and just remember this because this is integral to your Aqidah. For your Aqidah to be legitimate, you have to have this understanding in regards to the mutashabihat ayat. When you hear stuff about Allah's body parts, quotes, in the Quran, Allah's hand, his face, his yad, Allah Ta'ala came down to the heavens, Allah moved here. When you see those things, just know those are Arabic idioms. At worst, those are Arabic idioms trying to convey an understanding to the human being and to the human mind. The human mind cannot conceive Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we don't know exactly the nature of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it is kufr for us to try to say that we do because Allah ta'ala never even told anybody. And if Allah ta'ala did tell anybody, our brains are so limited in the capacity, we would not know. We couldn't comprehend the essence of Allah. And that conversation ends there. Nobody is obliged to know that of Allah, to know the essence of Allah. That is not our business. This is not something that qualifies your Aqidah or disqualifies your Aqidah. But I tell you what, if you get to trying to define the essence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then you lose your Aqidah. So as we can see here, remember, I want y'all to focus on this. There's three things we can do. First thing, be quiet. Don't say nothing. Second, when you read these ayats, when it says Yadullah fawqa aydihim, you don't say nothing. Somebody, if your son asks you, like, how big is Allah's hand? I see Allah's hand in this ayat right here. So Dad, how big is Allah's hand? You don't say nothing. You just say, hey, listen, stay off of that ayah and just trust me, son. And in 30 years, you'll understand what I'm saying. Stay off of that ayah. We recite that ayah and we just let it go. Just the way we don't fall into, and you must tell your son, tell your family, tell your friends when we're talking about the sifatullah in this regard, you must emphasize to them, we cannot put any type of anthropomorphic interpretations on these ayat. Then we fall out of Islam. So that's the second thing you can do. You just recite the ayat. Like the Salafis, they do the bid'ah. They do the bid'ah a lot. If you repeat something that I'm saying to y'all, like I seen the brother say this, and then they gonna be like, oh, Waynullah, where is Allah? Where is Allah? That's bid'ah, and that's a sin, and it's haram. You shouldn't do it. That's bid'ah. They're gonna ask you where Allah is, and you say, oh, fi sama. That's it, and leave it done. You don't give them no explanation. Third, that's called tafweed. It's called tafweed. So third thing we could do is if you can give ta'wil, but you give the type of ta'wil that the Salaf gave. You don't give just a willy-nilly ta'wil, which is when you say when the ayat comes or similar ayats come and say Yadullah fawqa aydihim, Allah's hand is above them or on them or over them. You say that this means this is the ta'wil, the figurative interpretation that the Salaf gave, and we got it pulled up right here on the screen. We're gonna prove it. We're going to prove what Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah believes. What we say is we give that a figurative interpretation. They say that this means Allah's power, Allah's protection. This is what we say. We don't say that that's an appropriate ta'wil that you give to those mutashabihat sifatullah in those ayat, and it goes no further. Anything outside of that is haram, and is haram at least, and at best, at worst, it's kufr, and don't do it. Don't get into these shouting matches with these individuals. We're gonna be decisive about the matter right now. So let's the last thing before we get into the presentation, understand that tafweed is what's preferred. Don't say nothing. Just recite the ayah. Go to the next ayah. You don't have no reason that you need to interpret those ayats. None whatsoever. None. Everybody knows that it doesn't mean anything spatial that belongs to Allah. That's preferred. This is the initial position that the Sahaba and the Salaf took. The initial position, the strongest position in this regard is tafweed. And then you started to get in figurative interpretations a little bit later, because this is when all these deviant sects came up, the Jahmiyyah, the Qaramiyya, the Mujassima, and the Mushabbihah. When those people came, these are the people who were giving Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala literal body parts and were saying stuff like hakiki and saying stuff like billah kayf and misinterpreting billah kayf and all of that. So the Salafi Aqidah is rooted there with the Salaf in deviant groups. It's not rooted with the major, with Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah and the Salaf. So I got some notes that I compiled and some statements that were made by the Salaf in regards, and you're gonna see only tafweed and you're gonna see only ta'wil. When you go to the time of the Salaf, when you go to the period of the Salafis love to say we follow Quran and Sunnah according to the way of the Salaf. No, you don't. You follow Quran and Sunnah according to the way of Ibn Taymiyyah and Ibn Abdul Wahhab. That's it. You ain't following the Salaf. Ibn Taymiyyah's positions on a lot of this stuff was not the position of the Salaf. Ibn Abdul Wahhab, his position, none of his positions was. The only thing that I can say that I've deemed to see that was correct that Ibn Abdul Wahhab said was that we got to pray five times a day, and the 5 pillars. He speaks about the 5 pillars. That's the only thing truthful that he said. How we go about doing that? He's on bid'ah. So we're going to see exactly the evidence in the time of the Salaf. And let me put this out there. This right here, when you're going to see what the Salaf has said about these mutashabihat ayat, this is the Maturidi Aqidah. This is the Ash'ari Aqidah. This is the Hanbali Aqidah. All this stuff that they come in with, these propaganda books and these propaganda websites. I'm an Ash'ari, and y'all see the other brothers who belong to the 18 on here. They belong to the Hanbali madhabs, and we got a brother that belongs to the Maturidi madhab. We cannot witness that the stuff that the Salafi say that we believe is there, and we're the students of the madhab. They outside of the madhab trying to tell us, oh, this is what you believe, and this is what this guy Abu Naima al-Amriki, this is what he did. So okay, we're going to get into the video, inshallah. Okay, so you can see Imam Malik, this disclaimer, this is not the narration we like to use, but we'll use it. Imam Malik said in regards, now mind you, these are all statements about tafweed, and then we'll go to some statements of ta'wil. And Imam Malik, you can see the date next to his name. You see the date. He was in the second century. So he's a Salaf. He's an early Salaf. So he was asked about the istiwa, the verse Allah istiwa ala al-arsh, and this is what he said. When asked about the verse, he said, "The most merciful rose over about the verse. The most merciful rose over the throne." Quran 25. Imam Malik, rahimahullah, said, "The istiwa is known, and its how is unknown. Belief in it is obligatory, and asking about it is an innovation." So the correct narration for this, I mean, we can use this, but because this would be, helped out by the other correct narrations that we have. The correct narrations was, and Mujib, correct me if my memory fails me. He said, correct me, Mujib. The correct narration is that he just repeated, said, these attributes we confirm them, they belong to Allah. And then he said, but then he said, the how, the kayf of it is unknown. So Malik is doing tough weed here. This is tough weed. This is not the garbage that the Salafis be talking about. This is ithbat, and this is idhar or dhahr or dhahir, taking the verse at its apparent meaning. If you take the verse, if you take these mutashabihat verses at their apparent meaning, you're going to fall into tashbih, and you're going to fall into tashsim. You can't take something. There is no apparent meaning to this. There's no apparent meaning. Malik didn't give a meaning. He said the how is unknown, and this is why we say it's bid'ah to ask about it, because Malik let us know. He said asking about it is an innovation. Khalas. That's it. Okay, so we're going to go even before Malik, Imam al-Awza'i. He said, we used to say, while the tabi'een were many, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is above his throne, and we believe in what has come in the sunnah regarding the attributes without how. So this is somebody else in the same era, the same time period. This is proof, this is evidence of what the Salaf believed. And this is evidence of that the Maturidiyya, the Ash'ariyya, and the Hanbal and the Hanabila all are on the haq. You don't see the Salafi saying this. The Salafi Imams, they say, oh no, we take them at their apparent meaning. We take this literally, bi hakikati. We take this literally. We take it at its apparent meaning. You don't see none of this. You don't see that. This is what they say. This is what they teach. They say that it's literal, and they say it's literal because of the apparent meaning. So if you take istiwa ala al-arsh, that means that Allah literally, if you take that at its apparent meaning, that rose above the throne, that means that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala literally did move and rose above the throne. And we know that that's kufr. Allah doesn't move. That's kufr. We don't need to think about any modality of Allah. And the Salafis that play games like, oh, you don't believe that, you believe you can move, but you don't believe Allah can move? Khalas. Kufr. That ain't none of my business. What my business is to be a slave to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's it. Going forward, Sufyan al-Thawri. Move this thing up here. Sufyan ibn Uyayna. He died in 198 Hijrah. So we're still in that Khairul Qurun. We're still in that golden era we're in that golden era of the blessed people. We're still in the era of the Salaf, following the Quran, Sunnah according to the way of the Salaf. We're still within the slogan. Everything that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described himself with in his book, its explanation, is its recitation. And we do not ask about its page. We do not ask about its how. So we got three different scholars and three different generations in the same era, all conveying the usul of Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah. These are major imams who were responsible for the knowledge that we have today in constructing our practice as we see it today. We haven't yet seen what the Salafi imams say at taking this stuff literal and taking this stuff at its apparent meaning. Now we're going to the next generation in the same era, Imam Ahmad ibn al-Hanbal in 241 Hijrah. He died in 241 Hijrah. He said, we believe in them, the hadiths of the attributes, and affirm them without how, without meaning. That's the meaning, that the recitation is or you just saying it is the tafsir. Once again, another statement of tafweed, not a statement of ithbat, a statement of tafweed. We're proving the aqidah of Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah. Going further, Imam Shafi'i. We all know Imam Shafi'i. Those should have been, I messed up. That Imam Shafi'i should have been before Ahmad. I messed up, but y'all get the point. He said, I believe in Allah and in what has come from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala according to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala meant. What Allah meant, not what you mean. And I believe in the messenger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and what has come from the messenger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala according to what the messenger meant. He didn't give you no explanation. He didn't say a hand, but not like Allah's hand, or Allah actually did literally rise up and sit down on the throne, or he sat down and he squatted and he bent his knees. He didn't say that. So what gives you the right, Mr. and Mrs. Salafi? What gives you the right? We now 5 imams deep into the time of the Salaf, and all 5 of these giants in Islam are contradicting the Saudi Arabian scholars. So we all take a pick. Which one you gonna believe? The Saudi Arabian scholars? You're gonna believe that? You're gonna believe the actual Salafi Salihin? Take your pick. Going further. Imam Abu Ubaid al-Qasim ibn Salam died in 224 Hijra. We narrate the hadiths of the attributes and we stop at them without explanation. This was reported by Dhahabi. Dhahabi is a student of Ibn Taymiyyah. They love Ibn Taymiyyah so much. So if Dhahabi is reporting this in one of his books, what tells you, where did Dhahabi get it from? If he was one of the students of Ibn Taymiyyah. They don't teach you this stuff in Salafi school. Going forward, these are more statements of Tafweed. Imam Tahawi, everybody knows Aqidatul Tahawiyah. He's in the 3rd generation. He's in the last of the 3 of the Khairun Qurun. We all supposed to be following the Quran and Sunnah according to the way of the Salaf. We got another statement of Tafweed. Whoever describes Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with the meaning of a human being, with human beings, he has disbelieved. He has did kufr. We affirm all that has come from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and his messengers, which means we can't deny the ayah. We can't, and the Salafis will say, because we do tafweed and we don't give it a meaning, we are denying the ayah, and that is kufr. I want to know where y'all got that usul, because you see all of the usul of the imams of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. So like my brother Salih Abdul Mujib likes to say, who are your men? Where did y'all get that from? Because y'all, I got my men right here. And they're saying do tafweed. They're not saying doing this ithbat or this tafweed bil ma'na. They're not saying do none of that stuff. They're saying we believe in it, we affirm it. This is part of the Quran. This is part of the hadith. We're not negating any word or any letter, but we're negating the meaning that y'all try to give it. That's tafweed. And you see the imams all saying this without adding how or meaning. And we do not reject any of it. So the Salafis are liars. Those people who say this stuff, they're liars. If you're a Salafi and you never said that, you're not a liar. But you can put yourself to sleep watching videos of them saying, their scholars saying this. Go to the next century over. We just left the 3rd century. Go to the next century over. Now we're in the 1st generation of the Khalaf, Imam Bayhaqi, who actually compiled most of this in his book. Excuse me, Imam Bayhaqi, and he had to change inside of his book. Imam Bayhaqi, the correct path, which is the path of the Salaf, is to affirm these texts and to refrain from delving into their interpretation while believing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not like his creation. Khalas. We don't see no imams. We're 8 imams deep in the Salaf, and now we're in the Khalaf. The Khalaf, I can't say this enough. They are the students of the Salaf. You don't have the Salaf if you take away the Khalaf. So they like to discredit Bayhaqi and Nawawi and Asqalani because they were dealing with these people who had these anthropomorphic views about Allah, and they were the ones that were right against it and say, listen, here go the hadiths right here. So the Salafis, they denied the whole entire Khalaf, which that cuts them off from knowledge. Because you don't really see a lot of this conversation in the Khairun Qurun because they still had the Sahaba, they still had the Tabi'een, they still had the Tabi'een. So Iman was clear. Aqidah was clear because they had the actual people who were there who witnessed the Risala, the divine Risala. So that it wasn't a problem. It was only after the Khairun Qurun passed off, and then it's it was just in line with the prophetic hadith, and the Prophet said that. He said after the 3 blessed Khairun Qurun is going to, the doors of fitna are going to be opened up, and this is one of the doors of fitna, doing tashbih and tashsim with Allah, giving Allah human and worldly and attributes. Going forward, Imam Nawawi. The safest way is to believe in them, the attributes, without specifying a meaning, and to entrust their true meaning to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Most High, etc., etc. 10, the 10th one, Imam Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani. Now, we didn't touch the whole entire Khalaf. We didn't touch the entire Salaf. and now we're touching the entire Khalaf. And these are big Imams. These are the biggest Imams. We read their books. We read the Hadith collections from Bayhaqi, the Bayhaqi Sunan. We read the Sunan from Imam Nawawi. We read the Sunan from Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani. These are the giants who write the Hadith books that y'all read, and y'all taking the Hadiths from them, but y'all rejecting the Aqidah when they come into to explain to you what these Hadiths that they gave you mean. You telling the teacher, I'll take your Hadiths, Mr. Teacher, but you can keep the meaning. It makes no sense. Imam Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani, the way of the Salaf in this is to pass them on as they came. Khalas, without delving into the meaning. Point made. Evidence for tafweed in the time of the Salaf and the Khalaf. Going forward. Now we're going to go to the evidence that the Salaf made ta'wil and that the Khalaf also made ta'wil. So we bring in the evidence. Everybody always like to talk about everybody else, all the Salaf say, where your evidence when we type in on Facebook, but none of them want to come here. I always tell them, I'll send you the link and you come over here and you debate all of this. You debate all of this, and these are the leaders of the Salaf and the Khalaf. You go find me some other leaders that was talking about you got to take the ayats at their apparent meaning and give them a literal meaning. Y'all tag whoever y'all think can stand up to that task and come and show me other than what we see here. And then we move it to a different problem. Even if they could, they can't. But even if they could, we fall into a different problem. Yeah, and I'm ready for that too. Because remember, Rasulullah said that his community would not agree on disobedience. So if they brought one person or two persons or three person, we got generations. I'm just showed y'all imams in different generations that's writing books that's going against all this stuff. Going forward, the evidence for ta'wil. Some early Salaf who did ta'wil. This is before 300 Hijra. Ibn Abbas. This is where the paradigm for ta'wil comes from. When they say, I don't want to hear what Malik said. I don't want to hear what Nawawi said. The earliest we can trace it back is to Abdullah ibn Abbas, radiallahu ta'ala anhu, who is Tarjumul Quran. He is the interpreter of the Quran per the words of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So how are they denying that an actual Sahabi, and not an actual Sahabi, not only an actual Sahabi, the biggest Sahabi, him and Abdullah ibn Mas'ud anhu, are the ones who Rasulullah sallallahu made dua that they will have the meanings of the Quran. And they didn't give you no meanings. They gave you the appropriate ta'wil. So now we're going to see the evidence from the time of the Sahaba, from a major Sahabi, that nobody, if you speak against this Sahabi and deny what he said, you're kafir. Khalas. You can't go against Abdullah ibn Abbas. You can't claim that you know something that Abdullah ibn Abbas understood. That's kufr. That means that means you believe you were around Rasulullah sallallahu instead of Ibn Abbas. Na'udhu billah. What do the Salafis like to say? Allah musta'an. I shouldn't mock people. Anyway, on the verse, on the day when the shin shall be uncovered. This is a big problem. This is a big problem. Big problem. Ibn Abbas said it means a greater matter. This is reported by Ibn Jarir and Tafsir al-Tabari. Bayhaqi also corroborates, so on and so forth. Mind you, look at the date of Ibn Abbas, 68 Hijra. He was a young man when he was around the Prophet ﷺ and the Sahaba. So he took up a lot of knowledge and he carried it on into the end of the first generation. Abdullah ibn Abbas again on the verse, we built the sky with our hands. والسماء بنيناها بأيدي. Okay, yeah, BID. Yeah, with hands. That's the appropriate interpretation. Some people like to say that word means BID is two hands. My Arabic ain't that deep, but I've seen it before. Ibn Abbas said, This means by his power, not actually with hands or actually with 2 hands, 3 hands, 4 hands, 5 hands. See, he's giving an appropriate interpretation, figurative, figurative interpretation. Now, I've already showed y'all what a Salafi Imam said, that to do tafweed and do ta'wil is haram, and you cannot do it. And they are going against the Salaf. It's amazing to me that none of the people who follow the Salaf minhaj has actually gone to the time of the Salaf and see what they said. The word aid, hands, here is figuratively interpreted as power, not limbs. This is a clear ta'wil from a companion. Third, Imam Mujahid ibn Jabal. He died in 104 Hijra. This is still in the first of the best 3 generations. He's the student of Ibn Abbas. We already, if you read any tafsir, you'll see in the tafsir, Ibn Kathir, you'll see it says Mujahid said X, Y, and Z. Mujahid said X, Y, and Z. Ikrimah said X, Y, and Z. These were students of Ibn Abbas. Qatada. We're going to go down the list. He rose over the throne. Mujahid said he took control over it. And this is, what they hate, and they say it's stola. It's not that. Here's Mujahid, a student of Ibn Abbas. I'll take him over Ben Baz, Ibn Uthaymin, and Al-Albani any day. More evidence for ta'wil. This early ta'wil of the istiwa as isti'ala wa qahr over the dominion. He established over the dominion, mastery over the dominion. It's well known, although later critics debated its chain, it remains a cited precedent of early figurative interpretation. Imam Qatada, Ibn al-Dirm, 117, he's a tabi'i, regarding the faith of your Lord will remain. This is another big ayah that they get misconstrued and they misinterpret, and they say, oh, Allah actually has a face. Qatada, he said, meaning his dominion, his recompense, his remain. It's come from Tafsir al-Tabari once again. Going to the next generation, Sufyan al-Thawri, big name, another big name. These ain't small people. On the verse, move this cursor on. He is with you wherever you are. Sufyan said, this means his knowledge is with you wherever you are. I had a Salafi talking to me one time before, and it was like, man, Imam Amin is a kafir. I was like, huh? What do you mean, Imam? I heard them say that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's knowledge means is everywhere. He's everywhere with his knowledge, and that means he's a kafir. I'm like, what? Y'all don't even know Aqidah. How you can go against Qatada? But then again, they're only listening to that Brady bunch of scholars, those Saudi Arabian bunch, Uthaymin, bin Baz, Ibn Abdul Wahab, Fawzan, Madkhal, Mukbil. They only listen to those people. They don't go to the actual scholars of the Salaf and see what they said. This is why I said it's brainwashing. Our Ustad Jomo is going to be mad at me for reading this one, but we use it. Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, we're in the second generation now. Although generally avoiding ta'wil, he did so in certain cases regarding Waja'a Rabbuka, and your Lord will come. Malakul Safwan, we know this ayah. And your Lord will come. Imam Ahmad said it means his recompense will come. So let's put a disclaimer out there. The Hanbalis do not do ta'wil. They will do ta'wil, but only ta'wil from what a Sahabi said. I don't know if they use a tabi'i or not. So Imam Ahmad, in this instance of him making ta'wil, they will only say it like Ibn Abbas said what he said. They will only say that. They won't use it further. The Maturidi and the Ash'aris, we take that same paradigm. So when you see other hadith, like when Allah subhanahu said, when a slave loves Allah so much, it becomes his eyes, becomes his hands, becomes his feet, and et cetera, et cetera. I'm paraphrasing that hadith. We use that paradigm of ta'wil to say this means that, everything that he does will be pious and in the way for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not that Allah will actually become the man's head, the man's hands, and his feet. This is absurd. But if you follow the Salafi Aqidah, then they'll have you thinking that Allah is transforming into, or humans are transforming into Allah when they reach a high spiritual state. This is why the scholars say if you do too much of this, confirming things on the outward meaning, and then that means that it's literal, then you will fall into kufr. This is why. That usuli principle is bid'ah, and nobody did it before. None of any the imams from Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah did it before. We know another big imam, Imam Ishaq ibn Rahawayh, big Shafi'i ish. We can debate that later. That's another debate we can have another time. He said, and your Lord will come, meaning his order, his amr will come. Doing figurative interpretation. This is the second generation. We're still in the time of the Salaf. We're still in the time of the Khairul Qurun. Imam Ibn Qutayba, another big name. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says we built the sky with hands, it means the strength and the power. The Arab say so-and-so has a strong hand in this manner, meaning power, not a limb. He's negating the apparent meaning. He's negating the bihakikati, the literal apparent definition of these ayahs. He's negating it. Once again, I'll take Qutayba, who comes from the time of the Salaf, who is a Salaf, over the Saudi Arabian scholars who call themselves the Salafiyyun. I would take the Salaf, who call themselves the Imams of the Salafi Minhaj. I will take Qutayba any day. Is this it? Okay, so we go all the way down to Bukhari. We have Tabari, 3rd century, Bukhari, mid-2nd century. A lot of them don't even know that their beloved Bukhari did ta'wil. Let's read that. And Sahih Bukhari, the book of Tawheed, he includes the heading, Allah's speech. And then he, in his words, Bukhari said, there is nothing like unto him. Commentators like Ibn Hajar note that Bukhari intended by this to reject literalism, to reject the apparent meaning, and affirm that the speech and hand are not like human ones, implying interpretive awareness. Okay? Imam Bukhari has the same aqidah I have. So when you have these guys who say all of these who say all of these nasty things about the Ash'aris and the Maturidis. Wa alaikum salam, Anthony Morrell, what's going on? Sunni Kareem, what it do? When you have them saying all this nasty stuff, that's the problem. That is the problem. Let me see. They're going against the Salafi. I mean, they're going against the actual Salaf. So let me sure. Okay. Pull the post up and show how brainwashed these individuals are. Let me make sure my screen is sharing. Okay. Hold up. Is this the one? No, that's not it. Where's the post? I had the post pulled up, but I guess it went away. Okay, it's this post. Okay. So So as you can see on this poll, I posted this. So I got this guy named Abu Naima Al-Amri Key. I got this guy. He trolls me a lot. So we're gonna make him famous. Y'all can see his name down here at the bottom. I tag him in a lot of stuff. I never go on his page. I don't agree with him. He's a Salafi. He's one of the Salafi imams. And me and him don't see eye to eye. But he always comes on he takes time out of his day to type my name in his search bar, and he will come on my page, look for these types of posts that I'm attacking salafiyyah. And he doesn't come from. I'll offer for him to come and have an intellectual debate with me or a discussion, and he won't do it. All he'll do is troll the comments and copy and paste all this stuff that he's Googling. And then he'll throw all these slurs and say I'm an ignoramus and I'm a deviant. I'm trying to pull the wool over the people's eyes. He talks really, really, really bad about me. And so we've already established, I just showed y'all the evidence of Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah, the belief system of Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah. This guy's calling me all these bad names, and it's guys like him, other guys, it's a bunch of people like this, and this is how brainwashed they are. They've only learned from the Saudi Arabian scholars, and they've only learned from Salafi scholars, and they read these pamphlets that were propagated against the Ash'aris and the Maturidis. I just proved to y'all what the Ash'aris and the Maturidis believe is in line with the time of the Salaf. I just proved it. That nobody after seeing this video can say my Aqidah is bid'ah in this regard. They can't say it. We just proved it. And if they do say it, they're an obvious ignoramus and they delusional, which I think this guy is also delusional. So he believes in that it's bats, and he believes in that Zahir. He believes in that stuff, okay? All the stuff that I was just explaining to y'all is haram and it's kufr. I don't believe he's a kafir because he doesn't know what he's putting up. He's just blind following the Saudi Arabia scholars. He's blind following the books, the propaganda. He keeps quoting out of this book called Al-Ibana, and we don't accept that book. We said that the chain is broken and it has problems with Aqidah in that book. And they keep taking that book like, oh, look, this is what y'all believe. This is what y'all believe. And I keep telling him we don't believe that. He told me that he posted the chain and the reference to whatever Ash'ari scholar that none of us accept say that this book was authentic. But this guy says the book is authentic because nobody used it in the Ash'ari school. What kind of sense does that make? That's not even a sunnah of Islam. So I don't know why he would break that sunnah and not understand that we do have the concept of ijma. Now, anybody can say anything. Golden rule. Prophet Islam said, we will not agree. We will not agree on the Ummah will not agree on Dalala. So we have that as evidence against us because the haq is so widespread, it's mutawatir, that no one group or person can come like the Salafis and go against the majority. The Prophet Islam already prophesied that for us. We don't have that problem. So even if he did find somebody who was credible that legitimized that book, Al-Ibana, that he keeps saying is the Ash'ari belief, and we don't, it's not in our curriculum. I've been an Ash'ari student for a long time, and I've never seen that book as a part of our curriculum. And I even, you can even Google and see why our scholars say this book is not accepted. So that neither here nor there. But the problem is, the Salafis are brainwashed by these Salafi scholars, by al-Albani, Ibn Abdul Wahhab, Fawzan, Uthaymin. Y'all know the bunch. They are brainwashed because we will show you everything in reference to what Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah believes. I'll show them stuff like this with these references. They'll find every way to get out of it. Where did that come from? Where did that book come from? Who was the reference? Who wrote it? Where did that? Man, you ain't doing that when you listening to Ben Bass. You ain't making Ben Bass show you where he got his Kufr beliefs from. You ain't finding or they finding this Kufr stuff that he said about in this regard about mutashabihat and ithbat and zahir and hakikati and all. Y'all ain't asking for no references when them dudes is talking. Y'all blind follow them dudes. So when y'all get proven wrong, then and only then do y'all want to ask for a reference, and then y'all want to be a scholar, and then y'all want to ask for the sanad, and then you want to ask for the men in the sanad. Then you would be one of us, because the Salafis don't do that. So he's not, he's arguing with me, and he's trying to tell me that I'm a person of kufr and I'm a person of bid'ah because of my belief system. I just proved to y'all once again, my belief system is Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah. The Maturidis, the Ash'aris, and the Hanbalis, our belief system is in line with Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah. So, and I put right here, as y'all can see, I put what Fawzan believed. Fawzan says, affirm the attributes as they appear without tashbih, ta'til, ta'wil, or takyif. Why would he say without ta'wil and what without tafwid? Why would he say that? Why would he say that? He said tashbih, ta'til, ta'wil, and takyif. So he didn't. This is not the quote when he says without tafwid. So they affirming it, but he's saying without ta'wil, and I just showed y'all where the Sahaba made ta'wil. And then he is rejecting hand as being power. And I've already proven that the Sahaba, Ibn Abbas, did it. The Tabi'i, Qatada, Mujahid, the Tabi'i, they did it. So why is Fawzan going against what the actual Salafi Salihin are doing? And this is what I asked him. I said, why is he going against the Ta'wil when the Salaf did Ta'wil? He fell into the trap. He bit the cheese. So let's look at these responses and notice how these guys have such bad adab. Their adab is so bad. They talk crazy. They say mean things, and all you got to do is give me the hawk. And I've been teaching people for so long, and alhamdulillah, people, I have a decent reputation with the people. They don't know me as a person to be harsh, a person to be mean, a person to talk bad about people, say mean things because I don't agree with them, or they don't agree with me. The question is, was this written? Was this written it before or after the book Ibana? See, he's bringing up that book, and let's look at my replies. He said that was funny, rushing to answer, but where did it come from? What book was this? What's the isnad? See, now all of a sudden you want the isnad. You didn't ask me for, when I put Fawzan's stuff up here, you didn't ask me for isnad for that. Why are you asking me now? Because you got proved wrong. This is Kiba. But I'm still waiting for it. I was driving, so I couldn't give it to him. I said, why are you quoting that book? We do not have that book in our curriculum. Is that the one that the Wahhabis have been passing around? But it did not come from us. And that book has no chain going back to Ash'ari and the like. And like I said, read the picture. That's the reference. The reference is in the picture. It says it's right here. It's narrated by Bayhaqi and Asma wa Sifat. You go get the book and find the copy, and you go translate it, and you go find these statements. I can't make this like that. Inshallah ta'ala, once my translations of Arabic is for my personal use. It's not good enough yet for me to use it with people. I use it sparingly with people when I know that, I've translated something right. But to translate an entire book like Asma wa Sifat is crazy. What I plan on doing is taking certain topics out of Asma wa Sifat and translating them, check it with my imams, make sure that it's good, and then I'm going to do programs, bits piecemeal on Asma wa Sifat. Books like 5 pages. The book's like 500 pages, so it's crazy. I'm good, but I ain't that good. So I put these little notes together just to try to be simple and to the point, and I can take y'all to the water. You go in it yourself. Don't play dumb. You can't fool me like you do the people. See, accusing me of fooling the people. And I'm going to show you how much knowledge your guy lacks. Just answer the question. Why all this disrespect? Just to get y'all hip, Ali Banna was one of the last books Abu Hassan wrote, and I put a chapter in one your man put up. So he going to bring you the innovation of Abu Hassan. I don't even know who that is. Before this, we know that you are why you dare upon with I don't know. So bring me something where he retracted his statements in Ali Banna. So like I said, we don't accept that book. So why are you trying to force us to watch that book? I'm trying to get back to the original comments. I'm making a point in showing y'all his comments. He's trolling, bombing the comments. But do he deny Allah has a hand? Is the point of the matter. You deny it. See, he's telling me I deny it. So he's telling me I'm on kufr. And I just showed y'all where the Salaf denied that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had a hand. So if I'm saying what the Salaf is saying, he's telling me that because I say that, I'm doing kufr. People like this Salafi Imam has put kufr on the Salaf altogether. Because I just showed y'all what the Salaf said that this is not literal. So this is where they fall into trouble at. Once again, he's pandering about the reference, even though he didn't ask about the reference for Fawzan. Once again, he's denying a Sahaba. I don't know who he was. I don't know who he was referring to, but he said Ali said, "Jump off a bridge." Do you accept that? So basically, he's mocking the Sahaba. I told him the reference in the picture. I said, "Do your homework, base anything I just told y'all." I told him you lost the stuff that has nothing to do with Alabama. That doesn't even exist anymore. He said, "Do you have more falsehood?" One more question. Who says Allah's hand is like a human hand? Me or you? So I told him, I said, "You're just going to ignore what Fawzan is saying? It's literal." He said, "Of course, that's a mistake from him. Of course, that's a mistake from him. We take the word literally, meaning Allah says he has this attitude." He meant to say attribute. But if he means literally, like as the same as a human, Sheikh Fawzan's word has no weight in regards to what the Quran and Sunnah says. He will tell you that himself. So if that's the case, why do you subscribe to his aqidah? He just pandered me for saying and basically told me that I'm a kafir because I say that it's not a hand. And I guess in the midst of him texting, he went and Googled the matter and seen like, oh, Ahlul Sunnah does say that Allah doesn't have a hand, and then came back and recanted his position, saying that Fawzan asked me, said, who says that it was literal? That if you take away the figurative interpretation and you only put ithbat and you say we affirm the apparent meaning, you're saying that it's literal. And there's other statements out there where he's saying literal. And y'all can Google, just go on your YouTube and put Salafi scholars who say Allah has a hand, but not like our hand. When you hang this video up, go and put that in your YouTube, and you're going to get 54,000 videos of Salafi scholars saying that kufr belief. And here he is agreeing with me. He's telling me Fawzan was wrong. Somehow he had an epiphany in the middle of this conversation. Cool, khalas. No harm, no foul. I'm cool with that. I don't want you to be on kufr. I don't want you to believe that. And now you're telling me that Fawzan doesn't have the correct belief in this regard when you were defending this belief in this regard, when that was the example that I made to show that the Salafi Aqidah is corrupted. Please make that make sense. This is why I say the Salafis are brainwashed. And then our brother, Ustad Peter Omar Kovacek, he gave him this is a good explanation. I told my wife to look at this. This is a good explanation of the belief of Ahlus Sunnah. He said, if you talk about a yad being attributed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then recognize that the meaning has to take into account that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not consist of parts. Dividing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala into parts is bid'ah. That contradicts the ayah, Qul huwallahu ahad. He has, say, he is Allah, the uniquely one, the Quran. We know that ayah. That shows that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is one. There cannot be more than one God. And you cannot divide Allah Ta'ala in more than one part like the Christians do when they say the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, because the Trinity is a form of shirk. Also, yad cannot be in the meaning of any physical properties like weight, height, width, mass, spatial relationship, etc. It is an incorrect analogy to say that there are different meanings of yad, such as comparing a human hand to a hand of a clock, which they say. You'll see Salafi scholars saying that. Both of those examples have physical properties of the created universe, whereas Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is uncreated. So that's a contradiction. How can you attribute created attributes to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is uncreated? These things came into existence after Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created the heavens. So Where were Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's attributes if they were literal, if they didn't exist at one point in time and then came into existence? So you're telling me that Allah was a half of some type of form, and then it was completed after he put it in, or though he didn't have that form, and then it was completed once he put it into motion when he created. This is kalam. This is kalam. That doesn't make sense. That's illogical. Khalas, it's illogical. It doesn't make sense. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is above such stupid ideas. Going further, the brother says, so obviously the meaning of yad is not clear, but it does not match the primary lexical meaning of yad. It doesn't have a definition, because a definition would not fit the majesty of Allah. In any other context, the primary consideration is that the meaning of yad cannot contradict any clear proofs in the Quran, which is usul. So it is important to be very careful when discussing it. Saying that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has a yad, has a hand, gives the impression of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala having body parts, unless there's further discussion and clarification of the details, even if that is not what you mean. He's giving the brother benefit of the doubt. You have to take into consideration how other people will interpret what you say, and therefore it is extremely important to be very clear in negating tajsim, anthropomorphism. Simply saying that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has a hand that is not like a human hand, and a human hand is not sufficient, because the hand of a clock is also not like a human hand. The explanation must negate any physical properties or any similarity to the creation, and therefore it is better to believe in it while consigning its true meaning to Allah. This is tafweed, and the brother's aqidah is exactly in line with what I just showed y'all. And his response was, I say what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says. I say Allah ta'ala definitely doesn't have body parts. So because you say that, you say what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, that then because you say that, he's repeating it. Allah says it gotta be that he has body parts is insane. Then it is you who has likened Allah to his creation. See how bad his character is? The brother just gave him the haqq. He just gave him the position of Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah. The brother took time out of his day to write that long, beautiful, eloquent explanation and a concise response on Facebook, and he puts kufr on the brother. This is not our sunnah. This is not what our scholars did. This is not how study circles work. So this is the product that you get from people who follow bid'ah, from people who are following people who hate Muslims like Ibn Abdul Wahhab. And this guy argued to the death that Ibn Abdul Wahhab was a savior to Islam. He argued to death, and then this guy literally killed Muslims. How do you think you be a savior to Islam and you killed Muslims for some bid'ah? So y'all get the point. Let me go and find. He started putting statements. So here's the part when he started. So look at the statements that he found. He found some of the statements that I put in here. And so let's just read a couple of them. He put like 10 of them up. So let's just read a couple of them. Abdul Rahman ibn al-Qasim died in 191 Hijra. That's the 2nd century, the Khairun Qurun. The companion of Imam Malik said, it is not permissible for anyone to describe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala except with that which he has described himself with in the Quran. And one is not responsible, and one is not to resemble Allah Ta'ala's two hands with anything, nor his face or anything, but he has to say, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has two hands. You were citing the verse, two hands as he described himself in the Quran, and he has a face as he described himself. He is to stop at what Allah Ta'ala describes himself with, tafweed, within the book. There's nothing like him nor similar. He is Allah la hawla la ilaha illa huwa. Okay, so this is from Ibn al-Qasim. We recognize this statement. This is tafweed. This is not ithbat. This is not the Salafi belief. This is tafweed. That's our belief. Why is Abu Naima al-Amriki, in his brainwashed, delusional sense, arguing with me with what I actually believe? I laugh so hard. Like the brothers, we got a study group. You know, the brothers, They called us like, man, do y'all see, dude? He is really fried. He arguing, saying we wrong about what we actually say we believe, which actually, according to what I just showed y'all, is the belief of the Salaf. And he's still denying the screenshot that I put up of Fauzan saying, don't do it. They're delusional. This is what happens when you play with shaitani ideas. And he kept doing it. Here's another one. Ishaq ibn al-Rahawayh. We put a quote up from him. We recognize him. This is one of our scholars. Said, tashbih, resembling, likening Allah Ta'ala to his creation, is to say hand like a hand or similar to a hand, or hearing like a hearing or similar to hearing. So if someone says hearing like a hearing or similar to a hearing, then this is tashbih, which is kufr. And you can go, like I said, go YouTube and say Salafi scholars who say hand but not like our hand, and see how many of those guys pop up and they're confirming that. They're doing this dhahir thing. They're doing this ithbat thing. Go and find and see how many of them say that. So once again, he put a statement from one of our scholars. We have sanad back to Ishaq ibn Rahawayh. We have sanad back to him. We transmit this belief system. This is the Ash'ari belief. This is the Maturidi belief. This is the Hanbali belief. How are we on the Bid'ah? And how's this fool arguing with me with what I actually believe? We'll read one more and then we'll close this out. Al-Walid ibn Muslim said, I asked Al-Awza'i, Al-Thawri, Malik ibn Anas, Al-Layth ibn Sa'd about hadiths of sifat, the attributes, and they said, pass them on as they came. Sufyan ibn Uyayna, everything that Allah Ta'ala described himself with in the Quran, its interpretation is its recitation without asking how and without likening him to his creation. Tafweed. Need I say more? Need I say more? This is insane. Need I say more? Let me fix my screen. Okay. Need I say more? Okay, so in short, I proved to y'all what the belief of the Salaf is. I told y'all the 3 schools of Aqida's belief system is in line with the PDF that I showed y'all with the belief system from every generation, from the Salaf to the Khalaf. So they say they follow Quran Sunnah according to the way of the Salaf. We follow Quran Sunnah according to the way of the Salaf and the Salaf. They're students. And I just showed you how the Salafi people get brainwashed. That what I want y'all to take out of this is, and Salafi people, I know y'all hate me. I want y'all to take this. Try me. Take this and go and look for yourself. Go look at the Google, go use ChatGPT and say, hey, show me what Fauzan believed in regards to Allah's hand, and match that up against what Ishaq ibn Rahawayh believed, who was from the Salaf. This guy who's claiming he's a follower of Salafi, and the guy who was actually an imam in the time of the Salaf, and put them side by side. You do it and see what it comes out. I know y'all ain't gonna go get the actual books. All of y'all are Googling, all of y'all are using ChatGPT. So put that in ChatGPT and put that in Google and see what comes out of it. See if the deviant Abdul Kabir, the biggest Salafi op, see if he's telling a lie. And then come back. Y'all never will. All you're going to do is screenshot my face and share my profile and say, don't follow this brother. This brother is upon bid'ah. This brother is not upon salafiyyah. No, this brother is not. And a lot of the people who cross over into Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah, they come from the free propagation that y'all give me. But y'all see how delusional the Salafi people, and this guy's an imam in the Salafi. Abu Naima, he's an imam in the Salafi religion. He's the actual imam. This dude's so delusional that he said I was wrong at first in the beginning of the dialogue and the conversation. And then he starts Googling when I'm putting up evidence against him. He starts Googling stuff, and he's getting the response of Ahlus Sunnah when he's Googling, and he's copying and pasting while he's at work these responses. And his response is to argue with me with what we actually believe. But he's telling me I'm a deviant. You're proving my point and telling me I'm a deviant at the same time. He's going to deactivate his account. I bet you he won't dare comment under this video. He gonna wait. This is how insincere he is. This is how much nifaq he has inside of his heart. He gonna wait till I post something else and this little spat that him and I got online goes down, and y'all done forgot and y'all done wrote him off already. Like, oh yeah, when I see his name, Abu Naima, oh yeah. Remove friend request. He out of here. I want him to do any. He gonna come back on another post and be like, "You're a deviant. Allah break your back. You're a batil. You're a batili. You're a kufri." He gonna call me all these names. Now I'm gonna tell him refer to this video. And he ducking smoke. This is the third time I'd have called him out. I told him I'd send him the link. I told him go get his sheikh that taught him all that kufa and all that tashbih and all that tashsim, and tell him to come on here and prove me wrong that right there is the belief of Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah. Wrap this up. Let me see if we got any comments. Mumtaz. Wa alaikum salam, Habibi. Even the brother one up sign know what it is. Daniel Jackson, what's going on? He said, Assalamu alaikum. It's always to study best with the brothers that seek true knowledge, and when we give true knowledge, there will always be one who question, and all questions are answered through the noble and holy Quran, and always use it as a clear guide. Love you more for the sake of Allah. Continue to teach my brother. Those who want to be reachable keeps keeps teaching them, and remember, leave those who do not want themselves what they want for their brothers. I mean, Jazakallah. That was a very heartfelt comment, brother. Okay, so I don't see any other comments. I guess what I said was clear. Najib Johnson, man, where you been hiding at, man? Where you been hiding at? You got all the plugs on the classes, man. Najib, where the classes at? We gotta get our Arabic study group back going, man. Oh, little big bro in here, Muawiyah Langley. What's happening? That's gang right there. That's big Maliki, big Ashari gang right there. What it do, man? The Mario Taylor. That's my guy. What up, bloody? It's my guy. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah, Sharif Abdullah. Nelson, what's happening? What's up, my guy? Okay, all right, I'm gone. No more comments. Alhamdulillah, the Lion of God. I appreciate you. Let me check the YouTube comments. Y'all make sure to like, share, and subscribe. I dropped that 5. Like, share, and subscribe this, y'all. I'm gonna keep me motivated, man. Inshallah, y'all keep an eye out for this weekend. The 18th, we'll be back with another nice program. We got a few topics. Y'all can send me some topics too. If y'all can send me some stuff y'all want us to cover, and y'all know with the A team, the Akida team, we hitting everything from every perspective. We hitting current events from every perspective within Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah, and we did that on purpose so that we could show the people that are united against salafiyyah. Like we don't subscribe to that. That's not Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah. So y'all just keep an eye out for the announcement. I think I'm gonna put it up Friday for when we're gonna go live. We might try to keep it on Sunday mornings, Sunday or Saturday mornings, because we don't want to interfere with y'all's football. Inshallah ta'ala. Okay, that's it. Jazakumullah khair, Habibi. All right, I'm out of here. I love y'all for the sake of Allah. I haven't eaten nothing since breakfast this morning. Yeah, y'all stay tuned. We'll be through. Me and this brother right here on the screen, Saleh Abdul Mujib. Our big homie, this the OG, this the plug, Jomo Ali, and the brother Ibrahim. He is always working. And we're gonna get our other sheikh up here. This is the sheikh of love right here. So Salim Abdul Mutakalim. This is our sheikh of love. Me and him, we had some talks about some programs we want to do to revamp my series about love, my Love Talks Live series. We got a spin we're gonna put on it. We all busy entrepreneurs, so we just trying to get this stuff formulated, and then we're gonna start, whipping out, rolling out these batches. I love y'all for the sake of Allah. If I said anything wrong, correct me, please. Come on through with the come on through. Just don't come like a fool, because I'm gonna burn you up. I keep telling everybody that. Share this, get the hawk out there. Let's get the conversation flowing in the right direction. If anybody want that PDF, I can send it to you. It's just notes. These are my personal notes. No scholar wrote it or nothing like that. Y'all can check the references, do whatever y'all need to do. So if y'all want the PDF, like I said, maybe I'll put it up in the group, and then y'all can go get it out of the Facebook group. Yeah, I think that's it. I love y'all for the sake of Allah. We'll see y'all this weekend. Aquli qawla hadha wa astaghfirullah wa la ilaha illallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.